So we're back today with Miranda. Thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
I thought what we might start with today is the basics of nutrition, and both how it can affect just the general population with their health, and also maybe touch on a little bit about how nutrition is important for athletes. And then towards the end, maybe we'll circle back and I'll talk about the basics of sports massage and how that kind of differs from the different types of modalities of massage too. So
Yeah, okay, yeah. Nutrition basics, just sort of taking a really high level look at it for this episode. Fueling your body is really about eating for health and performance.
Mhm.
And that performance can be anything from your job to taking care of your family to training for your particular sport or event. When we sort of talk about nutrition basics, we're thinking about the macronutrients. So macros are the carbohydrates. They're the big nutrients. So they're the carbohydrate, the protein, and fat. All the macros are important because they provide both energy and the building blocks for all the cells in our body, for muscles and organs and all of those things that just keep us, going every day.
Run our
So,
body.
but I want to talk, we'll get into more about each individual macro in future episodes. So just know that they're sort of like the big nutrients. They're the energy providers. And it's important to get, a balance of those. But again, that balance is going to depend on what your goals are, what your activity level is. So we'll go into those sort of more about those needs when we get to the specifics for those episodes. So,
Excellent.
the other thing about the other nutrition basic is really timing is important when you eat. So it's not just, it's about what you eat, but it's also when you eat. For athletes, really eating around exercise, eating, timing it so that your body is fueled up for the work that you're going to do, as well as eating after exercise to help your body recover. Both your muscles build and repair, as well as supporting your immune system, especially in this day and age.
So important.
So that timing is really important. Also, like avoiding grazing sort of all day, just sort of nibbling all day. Give your body time between eating occasions, between your meals and snacks, to actually process those nutrients and do something with them. If you're constantly, eating here and there, a few bites here and there, your body never sort of gets the chance to come back down and sort of get back to balance, to homeostasis.
Yeah.
So we want to give it time. Now, on the flip side, we don't want to go too long between eating. Making sure that, this is, again, it's going to depend on your activity level, how much energy you are using at certain times of the day. But, probably not going more than 3 or 4 hours between eating to help manage your appetite and energy levels, so you don't get those hangry feelings. Or those crashes, those mid-afternoon crashes, because maybe you, skipped breakfast and rushed through lunch, and by 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, you just want to lay down and take a nap. So that sort of timing is important for both, training, supporting training and competition, as well as just your, performance throughout the day. And then the other sort of nutrition, big picture basic, is about getting variety. We hear about eating the rainbow, eating your colors, all those sort of things. And the idea behind that is that different colored fruits and vegetables and foods and, a variety of foods, they all have different nutrients, different micronutrients. So all those vitamins and minerals that the body uses to, build or support the immune system, all those little things that go into the cells to sort of run your energy production. So there's certain vitamins that the cells need to turn the food that you eat into energy so that your body can do work, whether it's training or just, everyday activities. So, energy, it's those micronutrients for energy production. And just sort of in general protecting your body and your health. I mean, we know there's certain vitamins and minerals. There's also other things we call phytonutrients that often act like antioxidants. But all these things are just important, and that's why it's, we need to eat a variety of food to get all those different pieces of the puzzle to operate efficiently and feel good while we're doing it.
Absolutely. No, I just thinking about it, like I try to think like I pay attention to my macros, but more often than not, you mentioning micros, like yeah, I take my daily vitamin, but I don't I think about fueling my body for what I need to do, whether it's getting through a day of massage or a heavy lifting day today. But I don't really ever think about, not just fueling my body, but fueling my cells. And so that really speaks to me just in terms of there's so many different moving components that you have to kind of get the whole big picture of nutrition. So, reminder even for myself.
Yeah. But if we do, like if you do sort of focus on those macros, because those macros are, things like your grains or your starchy vegetables or your protein foods or your fruits, they're the things providing those macros, the big nutrients, but they also carry with them all those micronutrients. So it's just important to, don't just get your carbs from sweet potatoes. Eat a variety of things. Eat some brown rice, eat some quinoa, have some beans, a good old white potato every now and then,
Sure.
So you don't just want to eat bananas every day. Get some different colored fruits and things like that. So because they've all got their different nutritional value. Another one I get a question about a lot is, what's the best kind of nut to eat? Well, there is no one best nut because each nut's got different qualities,
Absolutely.
So,
yeah, I love that. Absolutely. And I'm excited too for when we can dig deeper and talk about timing. That's another one that speaks to me not only as like the athlete portion of it, when should you eat before your workout, but also during the day. I mean, my husband can attest to when I get hangry, like I want food now. And so, I mean, what an amazing thing to think about not only what fuels us, but how our fuel can affect, I'm sure, again, as we'll dig in deeper, our blood sugar levels and what causes that. So, big picture, I just think that's,
what foods are going to hold you over? You might eat an apple at 3 o'clock as a snack, but an hour later you're starving again. So, what's the best combination of those foods? And it's, everybody's going to be different, but it's learning those combinations that is going to make that apple last, maybe 3 hours until it's time for dinner. So.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love it. Awesome. So.
So I'm looking forward to getting into, some more nitty gritty in future episodes. But so tell us a bit about what are the sports massage basics? What do you think about when you're when that comes to mind?
Yeah. So sports massage is broken down into 4 components. And sports massage can be used from anybody who is a weekend warrior. Maybe you've got your first 5K coming up, or someone who's an Ironman, or Olympic athletes that I've worked on. I mean, the concept is the same. Just like nutrition for one person is nutrition for everybody. It's just tweaked a little bit differently according to that person, right?
Yeah.
So sports massage is the same for everybody. We just tweak the timing and we tweak the tools that we use during those massages. So to begin with, the 4 categories are pre-event, intra-event, post-event, and maintenance. So pre-event work is anything up to about 1 to 3 hours prior to the event. So let's say you're going to run the Boston Marathon, right? And you're working with me for a couple months prior to your race. You are in training, right? You're going to be seeing me, and we're going to be working on different muscles. Let's say, last week your hamstring was tight. This week it's your glute that's tight. We're able to address those specific muscles up to about a day prior of the race. So that's all still pre-event. Now, that day prior to your race, up to that 1 to 3 hour window, I'm not going to be working on anything deep or specific in your body. We'd be focusing on stretching, kind of putting those final touches on your body, making sure that you're feeling good and limber and strong. But we don't want to disrupt any kind of patterns that you've developed that are working for you. One thing that I like to kind of touch on there is like for runners, sure, you're going to have tight quads, your legs are tight, your calves are tight. But maybe for you, those tight muscles are what creates that explosive energy for you, to run. So the goal there in pre-event massage is not to get all those knots and kinks out of those calves and legs. It's to keep them comfortable within your tightness, if that makes sense, right? If it's not broke, don't fix it. So kind of the mentality there of we kind of help keep you pumped and primed, ready for that event. Now, let's say this is an intra-event massage. Let's say you're a swimmer, a college level swimmer, and there's multiple heats throughout the day, or even wrestling. If you're at an invitational tournament, you might wrestle 3 times during the day over an 8-hour period, right? So intra-event massage is simply there to keep your body warm, loose, and limber. So again, no poking, no, really digging in. We don't want you to be sore, but I want you to keep that blood flow moving. I want you to stay nice and loose, and, we'll do more stretching. If you're having any cramping during those, events, the heats or the invitationals, we would address those cramps. Post-event, of course, is when your event is done. So you just crossed the finish line of the Boston Marathon. Your swim event for the day is done. That's the
and
time.
You can hardly walk.
You're not moving fast. That is when it's important to know the difference between a sports massage therapist and just a licensed massage therapist, because we serve as kind of the first line of defense to make sure that your body's not shutting down. And if it is, we can get you the help you need. So let's talk about a marathon runner, okay? Because I know you can relate there. And of course, nutrition also plays into this. Long distance runners can also be hypothermic, hyperthermic. They can be dehydrated, which can lead to cramps. And of course, the other issues obviously that come with dehydration. So it's up to me to determine partially what's going on with you and if I need to get help from an EMT or a medic. Okay, so I am trained as a sports massage therapist to recognize the signs and symptoms of those bigger medical issues. So help facilitate the help you need quicker.
Yeah, so you're sort of doing triage in a way.
Yes,
great resource, great triage.
Exactly. Not training somebody's going to get in just regular massage therapy school. So let's say you cross the finish line, you answered all the questions fine, you might have a small cramp. We're going to address the cramp, appropriately. And we're going to just kind of stretch you out, do some long, broad techniques on you just to push that lactic acid through your body so that you're not going to end up with, DOMS is a big one, the next day or 2 days later, that kind of thing, delayed onset muscle soreness for those who aren't familiar. So post-event is really important to get your body cooled down and just relaxed after such a big event. And that's work that we would do anywhere from the moment you stop sweating, so your heart rates come back down to normal and your body's no longer profusely pouring, up to 24 hours after your event. So like last year's Ironman event, I had multiple folks booked with me. I think Ironman was on a Sunday. I saw multiple people, first thing on Monday into Monday afternoon. And that's all we were working on is just, oh my gosh, this is sore, that's sore, or, those types of things. And then our fourth category is maintenance work. And that's everything else, all those days in between when you are not in serious training. That's when we can get deep. That's when, you might be sore the next day after a deep massage. And that's the time for us to really address the bigger issues when we can get in there and really focus on that. And of course, we'll still focus on keeping you limber and stretched out with stretching. But it's those first 3 categories, pre-event, intra-event, and post-event, that are really focused around athletes during their competition day. Maintenance work is everything else. So that's how we break it down. And it's fun as a massage therapist because it's high paced, everybody's really pumped up, before the after, and it's just a great atmosphere as well. So fun.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
All right. So, looking forward to chatting with you next time. And, we'll just start at the top. I think we'll start with carbohydrates, because that's where most of the misinformation is around, and, often what people have the most questions about. So.
Sounds good to me. Well, we'll see you next time. And thanks again, Miranda, for joining me today.
Okay. Thanks, Jessie. Bye.
Yep. Hi.